Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Today we are going to build our personal brand, and for that we have Praveen Kumar Purushottam as a speaker.
You
He is
again
a
killed my
full
name.
stack developer.
Don't say my
Yeah,
father's name again.
sorry.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
go on.
yeah. Sorry. So he's a full stack developer, one stack specialist, and he has a YouTube channel where he is doing some amazing sessions. You can subscribe that channel and follow him on LinkedIn too. So without wasting our time, I would like to request Praveen to start the session and introduce to himself.
Hey everyone. So thanks Chanchal for introducing me. Here's my YouTube profile if you want to go and subscribe, and it would be giving me an awesome motivation for the upcoming webinars and all these things. So, and also don't forget to keep following developer student clubs. Thanks Chanchal for this amazing opportunity so that I can tell my experience here for building your own personal brand, because that is more important nowadays, right? So we will have a quick look at a lot of different topics today, and it's about mainly three things that we will be doing today. So the number one is we will be seeing what exactly personal branding means for us, and how to discover, how to follow. There are like 10 golden rules that is given by Forbes. So let's see what they are, and then we will start building something, okay, from the basics. So Chanchal, can you confirm whether this is going to be a coding workshop or it's going to be like just a talking thing?
Yeah, it's a hands-on workshop, so you can tell them about the hands
That
hands-on
that
code.
would be super cool. So it's going to be really a coding workshop. So we are going into an awesome, like a hands-on thing, and we will try to build something, and we will also try to deploy something as well. So today what we are going to do is, first we will start with why do you need this kind of like a branding thing, and then based on that, and what actually gives us for it. And the next thing is we'll look into the 10 golden rules, how we can follow them and how we can be successful with those things. And then finally, we will start directly diving into the coding thing and stuff like that. Okay, so hope it is perfect for everyone, and let's start getting directly into it. Okay, so without further delay, I'll start my, okay, so if you want to get a quick intro about me, you can see my previous webinars in my channel, and there will be like a long, boring introduction. So for now, I'm just gonna say only one thing. I'm a full stack JavaScript developer working on a couple of various things, and right now I'm concentrating on React.js and Node.js. That is what I'm doing. Okay, apart from these things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen quickly and show you all what exactly I've got in my mind. All right, so let's try sharing it. I hope you all are able to see my screen, right? So I've got a couple of a list of things that I'm planning to talk today. And yeah, Chanchal will be there in the background. So Chanchal, don't switch off your video or something. It will mess up the whole layout and the stuff. So don't do that. And the
Okay.
next thing is like, okay, wait, try switching off once. Switch off your video once. I guess it works. There shouldn't be any problem then. Okay, perfect, it works. Okay, so Chanchal will be there behind guiding me or anything like that, and this is cool. So now what we will be doing is we will be looking into um, these topics today. I hope you are able to see it. If not, I'll try to like like a zoom thing or something like that. Okay, there is a zoom. um, get rid of the outline, maybe make this thing full screen. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, so this is what we are going to do today. So the first thing is, what exactly is a personal brand? And we'll look into discovering our own unique stuff. then how to start developing a personal brand, what all the different ways that you can develop your personal brand, what all things are there, and there are these 10 golden rules that is given by Forbes. Okay, so these are the things that we'll be looking at it, and let's quickly go through one by one. Okay, so first thing is about the what do you call this? First thing is, what exactly is a personal brand in your opinion? Do you want to put it in the comments? But at the same time, I'm gonna also look into that YouTube video. So hope my voice is clear and the content is clear, right? So do you want to also tell what exactly you feel about what is the need of a personal branding and what exactly personal branding means? Okay, I'll just go on, carry on with what I wanted to talk. So first thing, a personal brand is a relationship with you as an individual who exists separately from your company. So you might be working for some company, or you will be a part of a school or a college or university. The process of personal branding involves finding your uniqueness, building the reputation on the things that you want to be known for. For example, if I'm taken as a person, as an individual, I'm a JavaScript developer. I love React.js and Node.js, and I do a lot of applications, small applications personally. In my workplace, what I do is I kind of like architect huge systems like banking and financial systems, and that is something which is not I always do, right? So that is there. So that Praveen is a different Praveen who is a working person who works for some company. But myself personally, I am a React.js developer and a Node.js developer. So that is something which I want to tell the whole world. So this is what a personal branding it means. And you also build a reputation on things that you want to be known for, and then allowing yourself to be known for them. Like if someone is saying like, okay, so I have a question on React.js or Node.js or JavaScript or designing thing, so whom should I go for? And if they are a part of my friends, they could immediately connect me with them, so connect me with this particular question. So ultimately the goal is to create something that conveys a message that either can be monetized or can be like, you can see the monetization aspect in multiple ways. Maybe you can get a new job, maybe you can get some money by training people or something like that. So these are a different ways that I would say these are something like possible. And Umair says perfectly, something to stand us out of the crowd or something like that. That's cool. And yeah, so this is something which is a good way. And by the way, if you want to get connected with me, you can get connected with me through LinkedIn, one of the best ways to professionally get connected. And this is my LinkedIn profile. Please go ahead and hit the connect button, and also don't forget to go to my profile and YouTube and press the subscribe button too. So these are a few things which I would request you, so that I'm extremely motivated, and please give me a lot of ideas as well. Okay, so this is one way of making your personal brand as well. So what I'm doing right now, I'm also promoting my brand, obviously with the permission of DSC and Chanchal. I'm doing this. So apart from this, that is okay. So you get it right. So keep trying to build yourself. Like you keep telling about yourself to others, and see and make sure that you are not annoying them, because there will be other people who are not interested in what you're providing. Like I've got a lot of friends who are very much interested in gaming, and I'm like very little interested in very little associated with gaming platforms. For example, I create games but not play games. These people are like, okay, let's go play PUBG and stuff like that, but I'm in that way, like I want to create another game similar to PUBG. So that's the difference. But at the same time, when I'm doing this way, when I understand that, okay, so I'm in the other way of doing things, what I would do generally is, okay, so here is it. So I will be able to create games for these people and give it to them, so that they are in the process of enjoying it, right? So that is one good way of doing things. So I think that as a better option, or like better way of doing things, that is what I would think of. Secondly, the other thing which I will say is, um, sorry, how do you develop, how do you start it? Okay, so before even doing those things, you need to find what you are unique at. So everyone will be unique at one point of time, right? So whether it is one point of time or whether you understand it, so everyone is really indeed unique. So find your uniqueness. So first thing is, you have to find your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others. This is exactly what I was talking about. So this was said by some big guy. It's a quotation. And so what this means is, so let's say we will take the similar example. A lot of my friends are very happy playing like PUBG and other things. And suddenly India has banned, India, not only India, a lot of different countries have banned PUBG because it is, because of its origins. So thinking about these things, what best thing which we can do right now is, as a game developer, what I would say is, I'll create another game and give it to my friends. Boss, I know that this happened. Without PUBG, you won't be like, you feel a void, right? So why don't you come here, play my game, and see how it looks and stuff like that. So this is one way of like penetrating your services to others. So not only this gives you a kind of a trust, it also gets your reputation high. So you will understand that this is your uniqueness, this is where you are specializing, and it will also increase your specialization. In simple terms, if you're good at something, if you keep doing it every time, you become eventually better, right? So that's exactly the concept of discovering your uniqueness and doing it again and again and again. So now let's start thinking of how we can develop a personal brand. There are a couple of ways to do it. First thing I would say is like, define your message and the media. So what are you trying to tell the whole world? So let's say this is Praveen. So what am I trying to tell? So I'm good with React JS and I'm good with JavaScript and all these similar things. I can do two things. One, for me, for my food, for getting some money, I can go for a full-time job, which I'm doing it. So I go to different companies, I say, see, this is me, this is what I have achieved, and these are the things that I have done. So that's one thing. Secondly, what I do for my passion. So every day we spend at least 1/3 of our daytime for work or for study. Okay, so what if whatever you work or study becomes your passion? That is when everything is falling correctly, right? So that is something which you need to think about. So once you do that, in that time, you don't feel the burden of like you are going somewhere. Okay, you're working for someone just for getting the money. You are working like, um I know like most of you are like, you don't understand Tamil, but kadanukku seiran, like you're doing it for the sake of doing, right? So that would not be the case. So for example, tomorrow is Monday. I'm pretty much excited about Monday tomorrow because I know what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm pretty much excited about doing it. So it's like I'm going for fun. I'm so happy going for it, doing it full heart and soul. I'm putting on it and I'm doing it. So this is something which you need to find out what it is. And if this becomes your work, that is something which helps you. Okay. So I don't know why I juggled between the personal branding to going into the official stuff. It happens, right? Most of the time it happens. Okay. The next thing that you can do is like, you need to okay, so defining the message and the media. So what we can do is like, when it comes to building a personal brand, it is very difficult to define your message, right? So you might be interested in something today, you might be interested in something tomorrow, and there are like multiple things that might be running into your mind. And this is probably the biggest thing most individuals will struggle with as well. The next step is defining the media and the modalities through which you can communicate your personal brand. I took YouTube, I took LinkedIn, and I took Stack Overflow, maybe Twitter. All these four, and WhatsApp. Yeah, it keeps going. Okay, so all the social media, I used to promote my webinars. So the main thing is, I do a lot of webinars and I want to promote them. So this is something which I mainly do this. And then I determine the methods by which I can monetize the personal brand. Currently with my webinars, I'm not monetizing anything. So all I do is for like, I want to share my ideas and like what all things that I achieved with others. That's all. So this is something which you can think of, like in case if you are in need of money very quickly or something like that. So this would be a better way to go for. And there are also other, like then you determine the methods, like there are many media modes methods to choose from. And having a personal brand necessarily doesn't mean that you have to be an author or like launch a course. By the way, talking about that, I'm also an author of 2 books. That's a different story. So they both are written for JavaScript, and you don't need to run a mastermind kind of a expert, or like there are like so many Udemy courses, right? You don't need to be a like an author of that course or something like that. If this doesn't suit you, you don't need to do it. But if you want to build your brand and you don't want to come in the public light, it is completely fine. There are like so many companies which are, whenever if I think of, like, so for example, I'm here in the UK for about like 7 years, and even now if I go to my nearest clothing store, there is a small cheap clothing store. So whenever I go along with my friends, I used to say, hey, let's go to the Saravana stores of UK. So this company called Saravana Stores, they have built a huge brand in South India. Not only there, they are also like opening up places in a lot of places. So when we can kind of like associate that with this, they don't necessarily need to be like a like a public personality coming to a coming having a website or like be an author of something. So it's just about the branding. So that's what I meant. And while all of these things are possible, a personal brand can be as simple as like driving awareness to a thing that you love or already do every day. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I know a few things in JavaScript. I keep teaching people every single day, so that kind of like builds a brand, right? So that is my brand. So this is something which I wanted to tell everyone. So let me quickly look at the chat. Okay, nothing much. Right, now let's go into the defining the problem that you are trying to solve. So, well, the whole world is getting into a lot of problems, right? So when you are a problem solver, that is when the whole thing is like all the people will be trying to come to you and try to see what would be the best way to go for it and stuff like that, right? So the first thing which we will be looking at is defining the problem you solve. So the genesis of a personal brand is being to answer one simple question with one word. What is the problem you're trying to solve? I would say education. So we have a lot of gaps in the education, and I'm trying to bridge the gaps. That is something which I do with my passion, because I know the pain of how it is back in India. So I've been studying and working there for about like 4 + 3 7 years, and then I came to UK, and it's completely different here. So I know how it feels there. So I wanted to change the whole thing, and I did take my measures, but unfortunately the whatever I took an effort is not as big as others are doing. So this is something which we are doing. So I mean, you can easily write an entire book, but explaining it in one word or a single sentence is tough, right? So if you want to talk, like for example, I'm planning to um, put all these talks like within 10 minutes, but see, it keeps going on. So it is a hard work there, and this is really necessary to describe yourself to the world. So tell me one thing, everyone, what is the toughest question one can ask you? I'll just give you like 10 seconds if someone is able to say. Right, I'll tell you the answer. Tell me about yourself. That is one of the toughest questions that you can answer, because every single time when someone is asking you that question, the answer will be different from the previous time someone has asked you. Like say the first time when the last time when someone asked me was when in my current company's interview. So I had to say something, but previously before that I had given interviews in other companies for my previous company. So what happened was I had to say completely a different scenario, because they are a gaming company and currently I'm working for a bank. So there is a difference, and I need to prove myself that I'm worth for this bank to work on. And so that's actually a toughest thing, and you need to make sure that you are convincing the people who is asking the question, and making sure the whole conversation is going smooth. So that is one of the one of a real tough, like, it's also a litmus test for determining your entire identity as it relates to a personal brand. So if someone asks who is the best in social network, people, 90% of the I mean, I'm not saying any numbers, most of the people blindly say Facebook is one of the best, Instagram is one of the best, right? So it is something like that. So getting a brand is really tough. So if someone goes and interviews Mark Zuckerberg, 2 words: invented Facebook. That's it. So that is the personal brand. Then the amplify problem, that is something totally crazy. So there is a problem. If there is a genuine problem, you can actually vouch for it. But if there is no problems, like you're trying to bring in your expertise on something else, you can actually bring in a problem, try to amplify it that it is bad. I mean, why I added this point is, like, this is one of the bad ways of marketing, but it works. So personal branding is all about marketing yourself, right? So something like that. So what does these big companies do to other companies, like B2B companies? They are trying to say sell their resources or their product by telling that there is a small problem, but it's actually not a small problem, it's a huge problem, and you need to address it. And for addressing it, we have our product here. So something like that. So not only us, there are a lot of people doing the same thing. So that is something which we need to think about. Amplifying the problem might be sounding bad, but it is kind of like what a lot of people are doing as well. So thinking about all these things, that kind of like comes up, right? So that is one thing. And finally, let's go into the golden rules, 10 golden rules by Forbes. Okay, so what does Forbes as a magazine, the Forbes magazine, who lists out the top 100 influential people and the top people who are there, what do they say about it? So creating a personal brand can really be daunting. It is a tough task. Okay, and it could also feel like it's a mythical task. Do we really need a personal branding? It depends. So if you want to get into like a large scale audience or something like that, so it all depends on you again. So the reason why I say this is, think about this way: I want a job, okay, but not exactly right now. I might require it in the future. So it is something like that. There is always a need for us. Every single time there is always a need for us. So we need to think about what exactly we are looking for. So that is something which is there. And secondly, um, one of the easiest ways, like, we can get lost in the processes, we don't know where to start. So that is something which is there. So let's start by looking into a lot of research that has been gone into in Forbes team to bring up these 10 different like the 10 different golden rules of doing things. And I can promise you that I'm not following almost everything. So not even a single thing I'm following. For example, the first golden rule itself is like, have a focus. Today I'm focusing on webinars. Tomorrow I might focus on something else. Yesterday I was focusing on my coding skills. See, even I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. So you don't need if you are not perfect, don't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. Try to be perfect. Okay. So yep. So have a focus. Too many people are unfocused when it comes to press and coverage, trying to be everything to everyone. So this is something was said by Cooper Harris, the founder and CEO of Clickly. So his profile is like, went on a huge dramatic shift. Sorry, her profile. So she was a working actress to now she is a respected tech entrepreneur. She has handled this shift only by focusing one message at a time. So keep your message focused for your target demographic. They will make it very easier to, like, both create content around your personal brand and also how people define you. So this is something which we need to think of. So if you know something really good, let's say some people are like very much good with singing, some people are really good at cooking. I know you are taking an engineering course, but if you are really good with cooking, why don't you take a side of it as well? So maybe if engineering doesn't work out, you can switch to your course. If there are any parents looking at it, please don't shout at me. Seriously, no. But yeah, so this is something which I found a lot of times this is happening in India, in my family also. So I have a couple of friends who are, sorry, a couple of relatives, they are kids, okay, so they are in their engineering age, and they're arguing with their parents saying that I don't want engineering, but I want to go into the media and other things. But due to the way our family is built, they are not allowing it. So what if the family allowed him to like become an actor or get into a media field? He might have shined a lot, maybe better than what these people have taught, because this is only purely because like, okay, this field is only for the people who are worthless, this field is only for the people who are doing really hard work, so this is not for us, something like that. And this field now, I'm not, as a professional person, I don't want it even to go into that field, but we need that field for the whole everyday living, right? So there are so many things out there, but not many people are giving the right importance to the right people. So something like that. So just have a focus and follow it. And the next thing is be genuine. There is an easy way to have an original personal brand, and that is to be genuine and authentic. So a lot of people are saying like people see right through a disingenuous act. If the more obviously a brand is a copycat, the more audience will call out the perpetrator for it. So um, this can be seen in multiple ways. Okay, so there are a lot of companies, they try to copy the other companies, and then they tried to launch their product and they miserably failed. Look at what our big internet provider company did. So they launched something which is very similar to what we were using every day, right? Like, okay, what did Geo did for Zoom? So they copied they created an exact copy of Zoom, and everyone started accepting it. I don't know why, but there you go. So there are like multiple things that are there. So you have to take this part in a perfect way. So you're trying to copy the idea, but not exactly the concept, something like that. It's like Nalusa ana paithyakaran illa, something like kind of this. This is a dialogue in a Tamil movie. I'm sorry if there are any Tamil people, they will understand. But yeah, it is something like um, I'm a stupid, not a mental, some kind of like that. So it is kind of a tricky here. If you want to copy others, but don't copy. Simple. Don't copy. Just be genuine. Be yourself, and then a lot of people will come for your genuinity. Recent times, the third point, tell a story. Recent times, storytelling way, the way of storytelling has become a huge success. So if you are trying to tell something, or if you are trying to sell something, whether you're selling yourself as a product, or if you're selling a brand or something like that, if your personal brand isn't telling a story, you have already lost half of the potential audience. So a lot of people right now are like interested in like hearing a story. So that is something which is really an interesting thing. So if you are a storyteller, good for you. If not, try to tell everything in a storytelling mode. That is one of the uh, coolest way of doing things. Fourth, definitely not me. Actually, whatever I told till now, I don't think I fall under any of the categories. So number one, being having a focus. No, I'm not having a focus. Number two, be genuine. A lot of things, the way I write the code is actually inspired from others. I won't say it has been copied from others, because I'm writing it with my fingers, hard hands. So yeah, even though I'm genuine to an extent, but I'm getting inspiration from outside the world. So I'm not doing the be genuine thing. Tell a story. A lot of my webinars might be boring, so I'm not telling a story. So I need to work further on it. Be consistent. I guess this is the first thing which I'm trying to be. So I'm just trying to create webinars every week at the end of the weekend. So, and I'm also putting a lot of hard work on this. So yeah, be consistent. This is being consistent is very similar to having a narrow focus. So it's much easier to get recognized for one topic if you consistently create content and brand voice around it. I'm doing React. I'm doing React. I'm doing React. Please come to me. So ensure your personal brand's promise stays consistent both online and offline. So if you go somewhere outside, talk to your friends, don't annoy them, but please tell them that you are made of these things and your worth is this. Like what you are better at, what you're good at is this. So something like that. So always be consistent. So that is something which a lot of people have tried and tested. And fifth one, be ready to fail. Yep, I failed a lot of times. So I expected that I would be getting like overnight I become Obama or something like that, but it doesn't happen. And contrary to that, when it goes slowly upskill, it might go downhill very quickly. Sometimes it happens. So I was working in this awesome gaming company. COVID happened. I left the job. I had to leave the job, or uh, things are not working well for me. Yeah, happens. It's a huge setback in my life, but failure is tough, and all of us generally want to avoid it as well. We did our best to avoid the failure. That's a human nature, right? However, to have a personal brand that rises above the rest, you need to have failures. If you see the top brands, like top personalities, take it Arnold Schwarzenegger, that Walt Disney, KFC guy, who's that Colonel Sanders. Everyone faced huge failures. Who's the best personality in the whole world? Take it Oprah Winfrey, Obama, or even our own prime minister, president, the ex-president, students president, whoever you take, everyone would have faced failures. I mean, the scientist president who was with us, he grew up in the streets of Rameshwaram, right? So it's like he's not even rich enough to even afford a 3-day meal. So thinking about those things, be ready to fail and make sure you come out with a bang. So that's something which is always there. So when you're creating your own personal brand, make sure you expect failures, but at the same time, you will also find something really um, you'll come out of the failure in a like a bang way. And sixth one, create a positive impact. Whatever you are doing, make sure you're creating a positive impact. Help others, make sure it is being recognized. And this is something which is really worth, right? Like when people are known for their good deeds, they will be always remembered. So that's something which is really important. Always keeping a positive attitude and helping others will only help healthily grow your brand in the long run. Everything whatever I'm saying, it's not something that is short term, and even I wish it is short term, but yeah, everything takes time to build. So if you have a clay and if you are trying to cement a wall, it doesn't get fixed overnight. It takes at least 2 or 3 days. So building a personal brand is not a small thing, because just in India, we have like more than, no, just in Tamil Nadu, my state, we have more than 1 crore of people, right? So if you want to be known as the one out of the 1 crore, it's definitely tough. Think about other states, especially Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. They are very huge, like huger than Tamil Nadu. Then you can see the population, and you need to be one among them. So you need to be the one among them. So it takes really uh, tough. And there is one wise man who gave this wisdom. My quick tip on personal branding is to remember that you are your brand. No matter what your current job is, what project you happen to be working on at any one time, or whatever the priority that happens to be today, always keep in mind the impact you leave on others. And remember, all we have is our own reputation, and that's our brand. So be awesome to each other. So yeah, create a positive impact always. Then coming to following a successful example. Uh, excuse me. When people are interested in personal branding, they need to start marketing themselves like the celebrities and influential people that they look up to every day. How many people use who's your role model? That's one of the best questions I can ask. So who's your role model? Just jot down someone. So that is something which you can think of. So if that person is a role model, how did they achieve these things? Think about it. Start working towards them. So that's one thing. Live your brand. As mentioned before, one of the ways you can make building a personal brand difficult on yourself is to separate your brand from your personal life. That becomes really a difficult task, right? So while certainly doable, it is easier when it is initially creating a personal brand to have your actual lifestyle and brand be one and the same. So for example, if I go to my office, I'm doing the same thing. If I'm here in my home, I'm doing the same thing. So if that is the case, well, you are living your brand. Let other people tell your story. This is the best PR, and it is by the word of mouth. Creating a personal brand in the public sphere is no exception to this rule. Um, Always try to be creating a positive impact, like as I said you before. And um, if you are able to build something really good and really cool, others will market it for you. Like just a few seconds ago, I was talking about Saravana stores being one of the cheapest and good quality goods for, I mean, it is in the affordable price range and stuff like that. Why? Because they have been doing it consistently and they are also creating a positive impact. And they are not paying me to tell this, because I know people know that they are good, and I'm not sure how good it is. And um, talking about international brands, what is the best social network? Facebook. What is the best word processor? Microsoft Word. What is the best operating system? Okay, I'll leave that to you, because everyone has their own stuff. And what is the best processor? Intel. So something like that. So create a positive brand, and people, others will tell your story. Finally, the last rule: leave a legacy. So once you have built your personal brand with a reputation and a community behind it, the next step is to think about the legacy that you will leave behind. Um, what are all the actions that you are known for? So if you are a person who always talks and talks about positive things and talks about motivational stuff, and there are a lot of motivational speakers, they are known for these things, right? So this is something which a lot of people are uh, like leaving a legacy behind. And even if, like, for example, recently there is a huge loss for the South India and almost India or the whole world as a whole, for all the music lovers. So that person left a huge legacy. I was impacted. Like on that day, I was not able to concentrate on my work. So it so happened. So thinking about that, you need to make sure your actions impact others. So these are a few things that build your brand. So that's about the talk I wanted to talk. It's already 40 minutes. I thought I will complete this in 20 minutes. So again, preparing for the thing, the what do you say? I was saying like about the defining your message to the media or something like that, right? So that is so tough. Like concisely telling that this is what you want to do or something like that, right? So yeah. So after all these philosophical thoughts, how many of you are ready for a demo? Who's ready? Let's start building something awesome. Woohoo! Okay, nice. So in that case, um, so how many of you here are okay? Can everyone who is watching this live, can you please tell me what your passion is? Like, what are you doing? What you want to be? So that is one thing. That is the main thing to understand your personal brand. Go on. I'll give you a few seconds. Go ahead and type in your message. What are you focusing on? Nice. That's awesome. I could find a couple of answers and they are really good. That's nice. Keep coming. Game developer, networking fascinates me. Praveen Yadav, connect with me. Thank you. You want to be, some people wants to be developers, some people are Android developers. Great. Nice answers. That's good. Cool. So so let's start with this. Okay, so what if we do something like let's create our own brand. So the basically what you want to do is, okay, how many of you are programmers here, so who work with web development and other things? how many of you are developers here? I believe a lot of them are developers. So just let's get into a web development and let's start developing our own website for the first time, right? So one thing about this particular webinar is we are not going to do anything from scratch. We are going to learn a few technologies, and learning from scratch, I have done a lot of videos which you can have a look at it and then come back. So the first thing which I would be telling you here is I'll be guiding you where you can find the best resources for doing a web development and getting it deployed. So we are going to do something right away, and then we are also going to deploy it. So who is going to be volunteering for it? Whose website are we building today? Tell me. Let's start with that. So who is coming up who wants to build their own website today, like right now? Anyone? Not a single person? I already have my website. So Mukul says the first thing. Okay, so how many of you have seen my website? My website is praveen.science, and it looks like this. So this is how I have built my personal brand. So it looks like this. It says I'm a cat lover, I'm a cook. Yes, I'm a cook. Then I'm a mentor. I mentor people on a lot of variety of dev topics. I'm a front-end enthusiast. I do a lot of things on the front end like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm a web developer evangelist as well. So I've been working on a lot of web development projects, and it's been like more than 10 years. And cloud computing consultant. I did my master's in cloud computing, and I'm also a cloud computing consultant. So these are the multiple things that I work for. I play, like I put my hats on. And there is a small quick introduction in my portfolio. So this is how my portfolio looks like. So there is a, people call me Prav, or like how people call me. So a lot of times my dad's name is being murdered a lot, and you could have even seen in the start of this video. But yeah, so because of that, I keep telling like people, please call me Praveen. Or for the English people, they generally try, I mean, now it is fine, but most of them, they won't be able to call the name. So I asked them to call Pravman, which was given by another friend of mine. So that's one thing. And always, I wanted to also promote my YouTube video, so it's here. So I started creating an awesome thing and blah, blah, blah. Please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that's what I have written here. So apart from these things, so what is my profile, what I have done, when is my birthday, what is my professional career? So a few things, whatever I have written here are all required things, and here says my skill set, and all these things are like 4 years outdated. So now it is 10 plus years, and now it is like, this is not what I'm working on. So anyway, so I'm just gonna clear everything, change it, everything, and do something. And then I've got like an experience, what all things I work on, what I studied, some, like made up numbers. Then I've got my own portfolio. So all these things that I have done, again, these are all like outdated. So I need to update everything and stuff like that. So there are so many things that I need to update. And yeah, so consistency, make sure you are consistently updating everything. Blog, the last blog post I did was 21st March 2020, which is bad. Again, I need to start blogging again. So I'm a huge lover of blogs. So I need to use blogs to share my ideas. But now I switch to YouTube. That's a different story. But yeah, I need to keep consistently blogging as well. Testimonials, what people are talking about me behind the back. And then finally, a way to keep in touch with me. And I've got all my social account links. So that's the same thing with the first thing as well. So this is one of the ways you can keep yourself, like, like get yourself right. So this, you can take it as an inspiration, something like that. So okay, some people are asking something. So, Praveen Yadav, which one? Okay, so before that, if you all can give me a quick request in LinkedIn, please add me. And I have sent you the LinkedIn URL on the chat. So go ahead, hit on the connect button, and let's talk. Okay, so that's one best way to start with. Okay, so one of them is asking how to make a game which software can use for making a game. Software can use for making a game. Rishabh, I don't understand your question. That's a kind of a cryptic question, I could say. I don't understand it. Right. So yeah, that's one thing. So personal branding involves keeping on telling about yourself. Like try to get people to know about yourself. Don't force everyone to do something or know about you or something like that. But there is a balance. You need to strike that balance. That is something which we are supposed to take care of it. And finally, let's go to that right time. We are gonna go for our demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a GitHub repository. So how many of you know what a GitHub repository is? GitHub is like a Google Drive for the whole world where people can come and add things. So something like that. So I'm going to create a new repository. It says, I'll put as branding workshop. And then I'll just give a small thing, DSC RJIT. Is it RJIT, Chanchal? Chanchal, are you still there?
Yeah, it's RJIT.
RJIT. Okay, I'm just going to put as DSC RJIT, and it's a public repository, so everyone can go ahead and star it and fork it. I'm going to also send this link in YouTube too. So GitHub. Yeah. Okay, nowadays mostly Unity or Unreal Engine is used to make a game. So yeah, you're talking about game engines, Rishabh Soni. Yes. So there are like loads and loads of game engines are available. Unity 3D is one of the most used game engine because it ties closely with Microsoft, .NET and other things. And there is also another thing like Unreal Engine is also useful in this case. So a lot of people are trying to like a lot of things are happening in the game world. So yes, that is possible. These are a few things, and go to this GitHub URL where you can fork it and you can star it and you can get the code. Okay, so whatever code that we are writing will be staying here. And the way you are going to do this is I'm using a Visual Studio code. That is the IDE that I'm going to use. So I'll start with a simple way, like how to create or clone something like this. So it says the moment you click on this, it says clone repository. Okay, so the moment you click on the clone repository, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this whole thing, add my username in front of github.com and copy this whole stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to paste it here. It says clone from URL. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that and it will ask me where I should go and save it. So I'll just go to my downloads, works, and then I'll select this repository location and I've clicked open. The moment I click on open, it says branding workshop here. So the reason why I'm using VS Code is it is extremely easy to start with and it provides a lot of options for a beginner to go with. Okay. Yeah, I guess Rishabh, you connect with me and we can talk in detail about gaming and how we can create games. Actually, you know what? I created a, I created a game based, what do you call this? A game-based webinar as well. So how to create your first game using HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and that is also what do you call this? It's based on a couple of JavaScript-based engines, like gaming engines. So Rishabh, check it out here. So I've sent you the link in the what do you call this, YouTube chat as well. So may have a look at it. Let's not deviate the project. We are looking into focus on yeah, again, number one golden rule, focus on the thing which we are working on. So let's start looking into different ways of building your own portfolio. Okay, so I guess there is one person who actually said yes, I want to build my own website. I guess it was Mukul Batam, right? Okay, Mukul. So Mukul and Praveen Yadav is asking how it is possible right now. since our names are similar, we can create one quickly as well. Okay, so it is easy. So creating a website is very easy. Okay, so first thing what I'm going to do is, how many of you here understand how DNS works? Okay, I'm just gonna quickly show a video of how DNS works. All right, so let me come back again to share my sound as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna open YouTube. There is this particular video, okay, how DNS works. And it is by Center, this one. I'm just gonna go on mute and allow you all to watch this video. So that's how the DNS works, right? So I'll also copy this video URL and I'll send it over in the chat as well. Okay. So looking at this, you can see how much things that are going behind, so how many of you know this is how DNS works? Please tell me. And what we will be doing here is, let's create Mukul's portfolio today. Since Mukul said hi, and we will also create some kind of a DNS entries for it. And I'll show you how these things can be deployed on your GitHub GitHub portfolio as well. So that is what we are going to do now. So we are going to create a very simple portfolio, which is based on a framework called as Bootstrap framework. How many of you know Bootstrap here? Please tell. Checking all the chat messages. Okay. Right, I'll show you what exactly is Bootstrap now. Okay, so coming back to our browser. Oops, 1 second. Looks like I missed that. All right, I guess I closed that. That's fine. So coming back to our browser. So if you go to getbootstrap.com, this is the Bootstrap website. Okay, so it will allow you to create fast, responsive, it will create fast, responsive websites, mobile first design with Bootstrap. So what does these things mean? So what it means is like the same website, right? So if you are opening it using a mobile browser, mobile window, it looks in a different way, right? It looks good, it works fine, it looks like it is designed for mobile. At the same time, if you go on the desktop way, it looks really nice. It takes up the whole complete space, and it looks like it is a desktop site. You write once, but if you open in mobile or desktop or iPad or any other devices, it looks like it is built for that device. This is called as responsiveness. So for those who don't know, this is responsiveness. And the next thing is, we'll be creating a bootstrap based website. Okay, so there are like loads and loads of things that are available in the documentation, starting from the top navigation bar and other things. There are like loads and loads of things are here. Okay, so here you can create your own navigation bar. What kind of a navigation bar you want to have? Do you want it to be linked? Do you want it to be bold? Do you want to have small image of it, or do you want to have an image and text on it? Then do you want to have like different types of like these kind of things? You have a disabled link, or you want a drop down link where you can do something else, and different colors as well. So if you go down, there are like different color schemes where you can have a dark scheme, a primary scheme, a light scheme. Most of the people are preferring dark these days, so that is also there. And we have like different types of containers as well. For navbar, you have a container navbar, so that goes inside the, it's like a fixed boxed navbar. And there is also different types of navbars. Like this particular navbar which you see in this website is actually a sticky navbar. So if you go down or up, it's actually fixed. And there are also sticky top also is there. So sticky top, I haven't got much experience with it, but there are different things. So you can use navbars, and there are like multiple components here as well. So for example, if you want to go for a carousel, which actually shows different images, banner rotators and slideshow, something like that. So for example, this is one best example of a carousel. So it has like first slide, second slide, third slide, and something like that, right? So these are a few things that you can do with Bootstrap. So to get started with Bootstrap in a very quick way, you can see the examples. And the good part about this Bootstrap is my website is also built on Bootstrap. So this is actually a Bootstrap website. How many of you guessed that this would be a Bootstrap website, and how many of you did not? So if you open this website in mobile screen, look, it is actually aligning for mobile phone as well. So click on this, this goes like this. This is like totally, it's a different website. It looks like a different website, but it's not. And I'm not sure how this works. Yeah, even this works fine. So it is actually responsive. Everything is responsive. Now here, if you see this, all these things were like on left and right, and I need to fix this one. Okay, it's my fault. I haven't fixed that. Yeah, that doesn't look really good. Right, I'll need to fix that part and I'll fix it soon. So yeah, so everything looks perfectly made for a mobile screen. So that is exactly what a responsive web design is. And this website is built on Bootstrap. So yeah, there you go. So Bootstrap is one of the core ingredients when we start building on a website. Just a second, I guess my video is switched here. So here, back, I'm here. Right. So there are like so many custom components. There are like so many examples that you can see. For example, if you want to create an album based website, there is here. You want a pricing for your products, that's here. A checkout form, that is here. You want to have a product based website, that is here. You want a cover page for your website, I guess that's what we will generally go with, that's here. A carousel based website, it's here. We have a blog, you can start with this. A dashboard, you can start with this. Sign in form, you can start with this. There's like so many things are here. So we will start with one of the cover images. So one page template for building beautiful home pages. That is what we require, right? So this, it looks like this, and there is not much content in this, but what you have is like a simple cover page, and it has almost everything that we require for a single landing page. Okay, so if you go to the source code, content is very simple, like it's just this much. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the whole thing, and looking at this one, there are a few things that we need to change it. Okay, so these are the icons that it uses, so those things should be changed. And apart from this, there is also this CSS file that we need to make it work. So if we start with this one, what I need to do is I need to go with I'll just go with this cover. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is there should be a way to use this one. There are also other themes too. So one of these themes I personally also contributed a lot, and there are some open source themes. There are some closed like professional themes. Um, Hacktoberfest is also coming nowadays, so it is on the talk. So please go ahead and start your journey in open source too. So within half an hour, what we are going to do is we are going to kind of like clone this repository or something like that, and then we are going to try to create something on our own. For what is his name again? Sorry, I totally forgot his name. Mukul. Okay, Mukul. For Mukul, we are going to do this. And is there anyone else who is ready to do something today? Please do let me know. Okay, now the first thing which I would say is about this particular development environment. Um, okay, before that, I'll just create this file. Okay, so this is the first HTML file I copied from the view source, and there is this cover.css custom CSS for this template. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here. Okay, other than this, I'm not doing anything from this website. Okay, now the first thing what I would do is um, I want to tell what is my personal development environment looks like. So type in Praveen dev environment. I'm just going to copy and paste it on YouTube as well. And you can find it as the first, like first link on Google to my personal development environment, my adventures. If you open that, this is how it looks. And here I have given literally everything, like what all things that you require for building any, what exactly I'm using. So there, the basic development environment contains Google Chrome. Google Chrome is one of the best browsers that you can use for developing your websites. And then there are some nice, like Google Chrome extensions, but it's all these things are not updated yet. I need to update everything. And then let's directly jump on to Visual Studio Code. This is one of the go-to editor for complex languages like React, and that uses JSX and multiple processing things. So, and these are a few extensions that I use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this whole thing and paste it over in YouTube as well, so that you all can go ahead and get it. Okay, so VS Code we are looking at, and in VS Code we have these extensions, and for configuration of these extensions I have got my dot file as well. So this dot file has everything, like this is the whole configuration that I'm using currently. So you can either use this configuration, or you can share, like you can take this configuration, modify it, or you can make your own configuration as well. Okay, so that's about my what do you call this, my development environment. I'll quickly go through all these extensions that I have got. Okay, so first one is the Cobalt 2 theme. So it is just the theme of it. It looks really nice, but I'm not no more using the Cobalt theme because I'm using a modified theme. So this is for React and Redux work that I use. So I kind of work more on React and Redux. So what I do here is if I type like 3 words, it is going to write all the code for me. I'm a lazy person, right? So almost all the developers are lazy people. So this is something which really helps me. So coming to the main things, Eslint and Prettier, these two plugins will help you in organizing your code, indenting it perfectly and stuff like that. So make sure you have these two. Other than these things, it is about Git, and it is about cosmetic thing, like the icons and other things. Nothing else is there. So what I'm going to do now is uh, quickly I'm going to set my Prettier width to a huge width because I'm in HTML mode. So I'll just I'll just close this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just whatever I copied um, from the view source, I'm going to put it as index.html, because index.html is the main page that people going to look at. Okay, so once I save it, it is going to automatically prettify the whole thing. So look at all these things, everything is being updated. Now the next thing is the cover.css. So even for this, Prettier does the magic for you. So everything is now added to here. So we took it from this examples, and we took the cover page here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this whole server locally. So if you type in one line servers HTTP, you can see like big list of static HTTP server one-liners. So if you are a Python user, if you are a PHP user, if you are a Ruby user, if you are kind of like Perl user, everywhere there is something here, or JavaScript user, Node.js user, a lot of things are there. I'm a PHP user, so I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run sudo php-s localhost 80. Why sudo? Sudo means it's a super user mode, and it is like it's like a dangerous mode. It's like an admin mode, and any port that I want to use, which is less than 1024, less than or equal to 1024, I need to use sudo here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my password, and boom, the development server is running. So I'm just gonna go open localhost. It says not found. Sorry, I'm just gonna rename this into index.html, and let's try again. Boom, there you go. There are a bit of an issue here. The reason is I haven't correctly added the files. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm gonna update the files. So this one, it says bootstrap min.css. So, and this one, I'm just gonna get rid of this canonical link we don't require. So this, for this particular thing, what I suggest is open bootstrapcdn.com. So this is a website which provides all these quick started, like a quick start of all your CSS and HTML files. So I'm just gonna quickly copy it and put it on YouTube so that you can use it. And let's copy these things. So going back to this, I'm just going to put link tag and then paste it over here. Then we have these Fav icons. What I'm going to do is 4.5.2. So this is the link, right? So /docs. Okay, I'm not sure whether these things work, but let me try once and try saving it. So if I try to open a particular icon, for example, this one, I don't think it might work, but let me try. Yeah, it is not there. So I should try using 4.5.2 docs. Nope, I don't think I can see this at all. So what I would do is, instead of doing that, I'll start with this one. So I'll go to the examples. I'll go to our cover. Interesting, I can't find the cover. Okay, it's here. I'll go to view page source, open this one. Here it is. So assets img, right? So this is what I want to do. So here, I'm just going to copy these things and paste it over here. Now, if I save it, it's going to work, hopefully, because it is coming from getbootstrap.com. There could be some issues but since I'm using a local host, it should actually work, and it works. So this is the first way of like creating your own version of the cover or something like that. So for now, we have created a simple bootstrap based design, and let's quickly look at if there is any other errors available in our console. So if I refresh like this, and it says I don't see any errors. It looks like everything has been captured and everything is fine. Good, nice. So now what we will be doing is I'm surprised to see that they have not added any of these links or anything. So this is the first ever thing. So the first thing here is, let's start looking at what all the source code things that I have done. But before this, what I would generally do is I'm going to go here and add all these things and commit it. So created the initial cover design using BS template, BS example. Okay, so if I do this, it's going to save it as Git. And what I do is, if I do the status, it says your branch is on master, but the upstream is gone. It's like one ahead. So I'm just gonna do a Git push here. The moment I push it, you can immediately see, almost immediately, you can see that it is updated. So all these things is available in the GitHub repository. You can go ahead and use it. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to change the names really. Okay. So the first thing is, so it was again Mukul, right? So Mukul Batam is his name. So I'm just going to copy this name, and on the author, we'll just use Mukul Batam. Then Mukul Batam's personal website or something like this. Okay. And now we have got all these things perfectly set for us. I'm going to disable the word wrap. And here in the main thing, it says cover, right? So this one, it says cover, but I want it to be Mukul Batam. So if I refresh this, it says Mukul Batam. And now let's go to our cover.css actually. So I really don't like this font. So I want to go to fonts.google.com. Can anyone can suggest the fonts, any font suggestions that you have got, please put it in the comments. For now, I'm just going to use Open Sans. And to add this font, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on regular and semi bold. And then I go to the embed, try to copy this particular style sheet. And then I'll go to the top before I add any styles. I'll paste this. And now in our cover CSS, which is going to be the last CSS that's been added here. So cover CSS is the last CSS file. So I'll go here and type in body. And in the body, I'm going to put font family as whatever is given here. Open Sans and sans serif. And I'll save it. Now, if I go to this, boom, it's Open Sans. So now the first thing which I would be saying is, since Mukul is going to be a developer, and moreover, this looks like not a good way of displaying. So I'll check the cover container. Looks like the cover container is extremely small. Max width is 42%. That's not a good idea. So let me put as 90% and save it. So that looks really good, like takes up the full screen or something like that. And in this page, what I'm going to do is these things are fine. So for now, we haven't done much here. So Mukul Batam is the name, and inside this, instead of home features contact, home, about me, contact me. So something like that, or we can just leave the me here, home, about, and contact, so that it looks like a professional website. And moreover, the navigation bars. So if you want to change the height or width of this one, so what we can do is the margins. So for each nav link, there is not much spaces available here. So it's just like a thing that says like this. And in the cover CSS, it says margin left 1 rem. We can make this as 2 rem or 3 rem. I guess 3 rem seems to be a really nice one. So it is in line number 69 of the cover.css. So it is here. Let's make it as 3 or maybe 2.5. Okay. So I'm refreshing it. It's going to go this way, and it looks really nice, like clicking on this about and stuff like that. Now, the only thing that we need to do is we need to change this and this for a quick way. So let's go down. Instead of cover your page, I'm going to say, welcome to Mukul Batam's portfolio. And that looks perfect. And cover heading is what is given here. So if I try to find cover heading, I don't see anything here. So I'm just going to give a margin bottom of 3M. So if I try to do this, if I try to do this, it's going to give this way. So let's try 4, some spaces there. Okay. So it says cover as 1 page, blah, 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 blah. Mukul, can you tell me something about yourself? One liner about yourself. Oh, Developer Student Club says Praveen's portfolio comes in list of top 100 portfolios of the world. I found that list on Google. Seriously, I didn't know about that. Thanks. Do you want to send a link in the screen here, please? in the YouTube chat. Thanks. I didn't know this was there. Wow, that's super cool. Okay, so Mukul, we are waiting for one liner about you. Okay, what I'm going to do is, yeah, he says like he's an IoT and a machine learning developer. So I'm just gonna copy this one, but it's very small, but I'll make it bigger. Okay, so I'm just gonna say I'm an internet of, we can make it minus things and artificial intelligence machine learning developer. So if I refresh this page, it looks cool, right? Like it shows what you are. And then there is a BTN which says learn more or something like this. We can make it as like instead of large, we can do BTN, or we can just get rid of this one so that it becomes smaller and looks better. So there you go. So a small simple website is done, like simple landing pages here. Learn more gives more about more details about him, and we can also give something like instead of cover template or something like this, what we can do is website designed and developed by Mukul, something like that. And we can also give copyright 2020. So if we do this, it's going to show it something like this. It's a sticky footer, so it's going to be this way. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is like it looks perfectly like what we want it to look like. Okay, so this is a simple landing page. Now what I'm going to do is in the changes which we have done, I'm just going to put updated the contents of page and fixed the links. This is very important in case if you are doing a lot of changes, if you want to see how things are getting updated, that will be really helpful in going back in time. And then if you want to get back or something like that, that will also help. The moment I push it, it will be available here. So boom, 20 seconds ago. Now to deploy this website, what we can do is, if you are the owner of this repository, click on settings and then go to the GitHub pages. This is free. So GitHub pages is currently disabled. Select a source below for enabling the GitHub pages for this repository. So if I click on this, click on master and then click on save, in a few seconds, it says GitHub pages source saved. And if you go back to your code page here, it shows a green dot here. I'm a colorblind person, so I don't really know if this is a green or orange dot. So there is a green tick here, that's for sure, because it is the international guidelines. And if you refresh this page, it says tick tick. Okay, and then you can find something called as environments here. If I click on the environments, I can see that it was deployed by GitHub pages 17 seconds ago. Okay, if I click on this view deployment, I can see that it is actually deployed to a website. Okay, so this website you can share it with everyone. And moreover, when you have your own GitHub profile, and if your website is based on github.io or something, you can use this. Now, not only that, there is another way to deploy the website as well. So since you are already on a public GitHub website, right? It's a public GitHub repository. So what you can do is you can go back to your what do you call this? The GitHub repository. Okay, this is the GitHub repository, right? So I'm just going to copy this GitHub repository. I'm going to go to code sandbox.io. Okay, and if I want to create a sandbox, it is very simple. All I need to do is click here, and then I want to create a sandbox from GitHub. So I'm gonna give a GitHub repository link. I'm gonna click on import and fork. It's going to contact the GitHub and it's going to get what kind of a repositories. Boom. Again, you have deployed it here. So if you, I'm just gonna send this link in WhatsApp. Sorry, in Google. Sorry, in YouTube. There you go. So there it is. Looking at the comments, yes, we can give the body an image by CSS. Yes, possible. We can create body. So it's mainly about how you can quickly deploy the website. Okay, so there you go. You have got the uh, Zidane. It is actually no repeat, not no respite. Okay, so what do you think? So within few minutes, like I guess someone called Praveen Yadav was asking, is it possible to deploy a website within few seconds? Yes, it is possible, and we have done it. So this is mainly for the kickstarting of how you can create your own personal brand and create your own personal website. Any questions? I'm happy to give an answer. Yes, one way is giving the background picture and adding more stuff here. So that is possible. Yes. And any other things that you wanted to ask? I'm open to questions. And Chanchal, are you still there? Chanchal.
Yeah,
Chanchal,
I'm here.
switch on your video, and we are going to the other view so that we can take in some questions and we can end it up. So Zidane is keeping on giving a lot of ideas. Zidane, please send a pull request so that you will get a green square and you will be eligible for Hacktoberfest as well. So go ahead and do
Yeah.
that instead of giving suggestions here, so that your suggestions will be known to the whole world. Okay, so I'm stopping the screen share and open to questions. Hey all, how was the webinar?
Yeah.
What do you
I
think,
asked
Chanchal?
your queries in the chat. Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice, that's awesome. I enjoyed it as well.
Okay.
Okay, some people are
Let's see.
asking if we can summarize it again. So yes, we will summarize it. Actually, I need to go through the whole webinar to summarize what all things that we did. Okay, the first thing, I started with this. Okay, so I started with um, think talking about what personal branding is and what does personal branding means. Okay, so that is the first thing I started with, and then there are these 10 awesome, like golden rules of personal branding. That is one thing is also there. That is something which I talked about. The next thing I talked about is I totally forgot now. I started with a small demo of how you can use Bootstrap to do things. I touched upon a few things in Bootstrap, like Navbars, fixed Navbars. What are different types of Navbars? What are different types of contents that you can use? What grid systems that you can use? And what are other frameworks that you can use? Oh, we also talked about some JavaScript based game engines and gaming kind of areas. And finally, we also started doing something like real, like creating a website and how we can code it from the scratch. I explained you all about my Visual Studio Code and my development environment. I also gave the link to it. And then finally, we started cloning a website from GitHub. Then we also looked into the examples that was given by Bootstrap. And finally, we took one example and then asked for who is ready for it. Mukul said he's ready. We took his information and we created the small bits and pieces of the website and we pushed it into the GitHub. So this is where we saw what GitHub is and how GitHub can help. And finally, we did a deployment using CI/CD of GitHub Actions, and it was deployed in one website. And then after that, if that website is based on GitHub, why not we deploy in other services? We tried using Code Sandbox and we got a csv.app link. Boom. That's what we did.
Praveen, there is one more question. Which language is best for backend development?
I would be very, 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 very partial in this. I'll say JavaScript because that's the only language I love. The second language I would say is PHP. This is my opinion. If you are asking the world's opinion, the first best language they will say is Python. Second would be JavaScript. Third would be Java, .NET. I don't care about the third one. So first language is Python. Second language is JavaScript. And for me, first language is JavaScript. Second language is PHP. Thanks for the question, Sparsh.
JavaScript is really easy. Yeah.
JavaScript rocks. And
Guys, ask any more query.
if you have any
How
other
can I
questions, I'm
contact
happy
you?
to answer. And if not, we'll wait for a few more seconds. And Chanchal, do you have any questions? Like you saw the whole thing as well. You might also need a website, right? You were
Uh,
actually asking me for a website, right? Like let's create something nice or something like that, guide me and stuff. So there you go.
yeah. It was a really a basic idea, like how can I create it. Actually, I have
Now you know
done with
what,
my website. I only need to implement my projects. That's it. All
okay,
is done.
start doing it.
Yeah. So then you can connect Praveen on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I keep
So
telling this one. So connect with me through LinkedIn and YouTube. So here
Praveen,
it
send your
is.
LinkedIn ID again in the chat box so that these guys can connect you.
Yeah, connect with me. This is my YouTube and this is my LinkedIn. Oops, wait. I guess I have
Great.
missed this thing in a wrong way. So I'm just gonna try doing it once again. So YouTube is this and LinkedIn is this. Boom. There you go. Don't forget to subscribe me. So your subscription will make me motivated. And I'm doing a lot of webinars these days, sharing my knowledge with everyone. And I hope this will be really helpful for you all. And any other questions? Yeah, Zidan, please talk to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to have a quick chat with you. And Umair says, super informative session. Really like the way you pointed out
Thank you.
your cons with zero hesitations. Thanks a lot. Hey, Chanchal, I was about to ask you, where is that 100, top
Yeah.
100 or whatever it is? Where is that link?
Yeah, actually, I found that when I was searching for the portfolios teams, then I found that list and I saw your name, and this thing suddenly pop up in my mind, and I put up that in the chat. I
Oh, wow.
forgot to send you that link. We'll send you later if I found it again.
Awesome. Thanks. I'll look into it. Okay, so that's great. I hope it was a good, productive Sunday session. I took like 1.5 hours now, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. So it's been more than yeah, it's around 1.5 hours. And so I'm gonna leave the chat open for a few more minutes. So don't stop the stream, Chanchal, until I say, and we'll see how it goes. And Praveen Yadav, Sparsh, Mukul, I'm looking forward to connect with you all. Okay, so Praveen Yadav, Sparsh, Mukul, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay, so with that being said, we all will leave. Then let me put the holding page so that you can leave your comments and inputs. And what say? Bye bye. Say bye bye, Sanchal.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you, Praveen, for joining.
Thank you, Chanchal, for giving me
Again.
this awesome thing. Bye.
Thank you.